wine bit. Now I'm decanting wine into 2 containers, and I'm going to wand one. Actually, if I can get Savannah to come give me a hand, because we'll talk at the same time, and I tend to get, you know how you can't rub your head and your stomach at the same time? So if I can get you to wand that, that would be great. I'm going to talk about why we're applying energy to food and beverage. And this is important. Remember, I emphasized that you need to take a look at the research. Okay? Please take a look at the research. Talk to the person who invited you. They'll send you a research document on the VibraScan 1100 scalar machine. This VibraScan, what it does is it measures vibrancy. Isn't that cool? I didn't even know that you could measure vibrancy until 12 months ago. And it's a $10,000 piece of equipment. It measures scalar waves in megahertz, millions of cycles per second. And what they have is a demarcation. Anything below 200 megahertz is illness-provoking. Anything above 200 megahertz is health-provoking. Okay? So 200. Remember that for a second. So what we did is we tested a wand from Amega, and it came in at 1254 megahertz. Okay? So that's just slightly above 200. And then what we did is we tested our fantastic Vancouver tap water. You know we have the best water in the world, right? Everyone know that? Does everyone believe that? No. Okay. So we tested our fabulous tap water, and it came in at 2.1 megahertz. Anyone ever heard of Johann Grander or Victor Schauberger? Okay, they did research on water. They would be rolling in their graves right now if they knew we were drinking water at 2.1 megahertz. So we energized it, like what Savannah's doing with the wine. We did it in a clockwise motion. And that's clockwise motion. What's that about? It's the natural way in which energy moves in the environment. You've probably noticed this. You've seen tornadoes or dust whipped up into or you've seen conch shells. Energy naturally travels in a spiral. So we're introducing that additional piece to the energy. And it does make a difference. We added energy to a grape. It came in at 2.8 megahertz initially. So that's called an old grape. And then we moved it to 222.7. And you could taste the difference. You could taste the increase in vibrancy. We took my energy from 216.7 megahertz, above 200. Okay, and we moved it to 468 megahertz in 3 minutes with 2 wands. That's doubling my vibrancy. Now, if you take a look at the water in the grape, that's a 100-fold increase in vibrancy, 100-fold. Now, this practitioner was really amazed because she tried tachyon and brander and cold laser and magnets and a lot of different competitive technology out there, and the most she'd ever seen is a 10-fold increase in vibrancy. So 100-fold got her attention. And when my vibrancy doubled, she said, "Patrick, you know I've got nerve damage in my hand. Can't feel the skin on my arm. Do you think this might help?" We said, "Sure, let's give it a try." We measured her hand at 2.6 megahertz. So she clearly had some damage. She had some energetic challenges. And we applied the energy to her for 3 minutes and moved it up to 360 megahertz. She had no more pain, never came back. That's an anomaly, okay? I tell people, yes, there are some examples of people that change very quickly. We had one person, John, came to my demo. He'd accidentally shot himself in the knee with a .22 caliber nail gun. Okay, 4-inch nail right through the top of the tibia. 18 months earlier, he was in a lot of pain, like 9 out of 10 in pain. And he couldn't bend his knee, so he came in all stiff like this. And in one application, he could bend his knee, put pressure on it, and the pain dropped from 9 down to 1, and the pain never came back. That's an anomaly. Most people, it requires that they apply the energy on a daily basis for at least a couple of sessions, sometimes a couple of weeks and even a couple of months if they're in chronic disease. But the results are profound, and it doesn't take that long. So what we're doing here is we're applying energy to wine. You want to have fun? Try this in a restaurant. Because you know what they're going to do? They're definitely going to take a look and wonder what's up when you're doing this in a restaurant.
So, Patrick, could you please repeat the difference between the water? Because I missed that.
Oh, so the water was 2.1 megahertz and it moved it up to 350 megahertz. So it's a dramatic increase, a 100-fold increase in the vibrancy of water, which you can actually discern. We call it mouth feel. It feels different, okay, and it tastes different. So we do this in restaurants. I do this every time I order wine in restaurants, and you know what? I've gotten free meals. You know what? You've gotten free meals as well? I've got free meals. I've had the chef come out. I've had the head waiter come out. I've had the manager come out. I've had waiters and waitresses around my table. And we have them do a demo, a little mini demo. I have them bring an extra couple of glasses out, pour wine into each, energize one, have them taste, And we've had people leaning in from other tables, you know? And then say, what is going on here? And what's going on? Well, we're changing the structure of the wine. That wand has energy in it. The wine is also energy. It's electrons, protons, and neutrons. So, we had a person come to my demonstration, and he was allergic to red wine. And there were about 25, 30 people there. And he said he wanted to try the wanded red wine. And I said, what kind of allergy do you have? He said, well, I have my EpiPen with me, my throat swells up, my tank, you know, I stop breathing, and I'm going, oh, great. You know how you break into a sweat? So I was breaking into a sweat. I could just see him keeling over in the middle of my demo. So he said, no, I can just put it to my lips, and I can actually taste. When I put it to my lips, it'll be itchy on my lips and on my tongue, and I'll know right away that I can't drink it. I said, okay, well, I prefer that you didn't. But he insisted, so he tried it, and you know what? No allergic reaction. Drank the whole thing, no allergic reaction whatsoever. Why? Well, how much effort does it take to change a molecule? You only have to move one atom, and that molecule is no longer the same. So the pesticides and the sulfites were still in the wine, but it was a slightly different molecule. Not the same molecule he was allergic to, obviously, because he did not have an allergic reaction. But you're going to be able to discern that as a difference in taste, because if you change a molecule, you're going to change the taste. So we're going to show you through a wine test here. We're going to give you an opportunity then to try some wine. I want you to try the wanded wine first, and then the unwanded. Did you want to try? Okay, well, maybe right after the wine test. So, who'd like to try the wine? Okay, that's a fast hand over there. Come on up. 2. Who else wants to come up? Okay. 3 and 4. Okay, so there's 4.
How long do you want it?
You know, that's a very good question. How long do you want it? Everyone wants it differently. Is there one more person who wants to come up?
We have here for 5.
One more person? Okay, come on up. Okay, I don't?
Short one.
Oh, I have an extra glass. So Savannah's going to give you the wanded wine first. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to smell it. I want you to look at the way it dribbles down the inside of the glass. We had a wine connoisseur come to my demo. He told me that's called legs. Okay, so I want you to look at the legs. You could.
Yeah. As an individual one, opposed to in the.
So give a little try to that wanded. Now we're going to give you the unwanded. So I want you to try back and forth. I want you to smell it, look at the legs, and then taste it. Now here's what the wine connoisseur did who came to my demonstration. Okay, this is a fully certified wine connoisseur. He was hired by 8 different restaurants, so he's full-time. And a friend of his said that this energization will dramatically improve the quality of the wine. He said, no way. Actually, I think he used stronger language than that, but that's what he said to me. So he came, and he's the one who told us we had to decant into 2 decanters for both to breathe, instead of pouring wine into 1 decanter, energizing it, and then pouring the unwanded out of the bottle. And he looked for the legs, he looked for the smell, the aroma, and he tasted it back and forth. Go ahead and taste. Taste back and forth. I want you to give it the best shot to discern if there's any difference between the 2. Okay. Now that was a big reaction. What was the difference for you?
No, very sour.
Very sour. So the unwanded, very sour. Okay. You prefer the wanded?
Yes, nice and smooth.
Smooth. Okay.
Yeah, exactly the same. The other one is really sour, and the other one is kind of almost sweet.
Sour and then sweet. Big difference.
Yeah.
This has an edge.
There's an edge to it. Okay. Any difference in the smell for you?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, this one's definitely sweeter.
Sweeter?
Smoother.
The smoother is the wanded one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Expensive and cheap.
Expensive and cheap.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because it's very cheap. And so so what you can do, according to this sommelier, is it doubles the value of wine. That's the sommelier's perspective. So I don't buy a lot of really expensive wine anymore. And as far as I can tell, just for the price of the wine, just for the savings in wine alone. Thanks so much. Give them a hand.